Hi everyone. So the intention for today's class is to establish a really strong foundation. We're going to be working with some balancing poses. So if that sounds like it's a little bit challenging, go ahead and set up near a wall so you can have that. If you have a block, go ahead and bring it to the mat today. If you don't have it, it's okay. We'll just do an alternate pose and let's go ahead and get started. So welcome ourselves to the mat today. Let's sit on the heels. And let's work out the wrists a little bit. So bring your right hand out, palm facing up and towards the front of the room, and gently pull back on the fingers until you feel a slight stretch in the bottom of the forearm. And just breathe deeply and switch sides. The left hand forward, only pulling gently. And same thing, palm facing down this time. Just pull on the back of the hand gently. Only slight pressure is needed. Sometimes I feel this one all the way through the top of my arm. You just keep breathing in and out through the nose. And switch arms. Allow yourself to settle in. Welcome yourself to the mat. And shake out the wrists. Maybe shake out the whole arms if you want. And on an inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. And exhale, grab onto your right elbow with your left hand and then pull that in towards your head. So pressing your head into your tricep and your tricep back into your head. And feeling a little stretch in the tricep there. Spine is nice and tall. Inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, other side. Inhale, release with both arms up. And exhale, hands press together and hands come through the center line to the heart center. Take 2 deep breaths. And then exhale, hinge forward into a child's pose with your hands in prayer up overhead. If your forehead doesn't reach the mat, go ahead and bring your block in so that your forehead is in contact with that block. This is called Guru Pranam, child's pose with a prayer. And take this time to set an intention for the class today. Where in your life are you seeking more balance, more harmony? And take 3 deep breaths here. Push your palms into the mat to lift your torso back up. And come into tabletop. We'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. Make sure your weight is evenly distributed into all four limbs. Tuck the toes, broaden the shoulders, collarbones, gaze forward. And exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, curl the tailbone under. Inhale, shine the heart forward, roll the shoulder blades back. Exhale, pull the navel in towards the spine. One more on your own, in breath. And exhale. Bring your spine to a neutral table. Reach your right leg back behind you, parallel with the mat, and reach your left arm forward. Hold here. Keep your abs pulled up and in. And on your next exhale, bring your elbow and your knee in together to touch, rounding the back. Inhale, reach. And exhale, curl it in. Once more like this. Inhale, reach. Find lots of energy. Exhale, curl. And this time, inhale, reach. This time, bend your right knee and bring your left hand back, maybe holding on to the outer edge of that foot and pressing your foot into your hand, keeping your torso level with the mat, pulling the abs up and then letting your foot push into your hand to stretch out the shoulder and the front of that right thigh. And gently release, reach back out again, and exhale, replant the foot and the hand back down. Take one deep breath here in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. We'll do that same thing on the other side. So just reaching that left leg back, really flexing that foot, finding energy shooting out that back heel as you bring that right arm forward. Hold here for a few breaths, finding your stability, really activating through the core. And on your next exhale, bringing the elbow and the knee in towards each other, rounding the back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, round. Once more reaching. And once more rounding. Inhale, reach. And this time we'll move into that tiger's pose, bending that left knee, grabbing onto the outer edge of that foot. You're really pushing your foot into your hand to lift the shoulders up. You're going to gaze forward here. So remember to keep your abs pulled up and in, protecting your low back. Keep breathing. Gently release, re-extend, and then dropping the limbs back down. Take another cleansing breath in through the nose, and then exhale out the mouth. Let's counter that stretch with the thread the needle. So bringing the right arm underneath, bringing the shoulder down to the mat, and then maybe reaching the left arm forward. Make sure you lean a bit towards the right so your hips aren't tipping towards the left. Sometimes they like to do that. You want your hips directly over the knees. And bring your left hand back down, twist up. You extend that arm and switch to the other side. So extending your left arm up, spreading it under, bringing that shoulder and your left ear to the mat. Maybe reaching your right arm up. And let's press the right hand into the mat. Lift back up, neutral table. Tuck the toes under and push up into a downward facing dog, lifting your hips up and back, finding a nice long spine. Ears are in between the biceps. You can bend your knees a lot here. Most important thing is a nice straight spine. And pedal out your legs if you like. Let's move into a low lunge. So inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant that foot forward and drop your right knee down. And come on up into your low lunge. If this is hard on your knees, you can always fold the mat over once and place your knee on the mat there. We'll be hanging out in this pose for a moment. We're gonna paint the front of the room with our fingertips. So let's inhale, reach up, palms facing up, and exhale, palms facing down, breathing out. Two more like this. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, and exhale down. Once more, it's a little bit different. Inhale, come up, keep your right arm here, and swim your left arm back for a gentle twist. Twisting from the navel, keeping your hips where they are. You can place your hand on your low back to make sure your hips have not moved. And just take a few breaths here, feeling the spine twist. Inhale, unwind, reach your both arms up overhead. Exhale, frame the foot. Or you're gonna plant your right hand down and then bend your right knee. Bring your left hand back behind you and kind of grab onto your foot the same way we did before for a nice quad stretch. So feeling this in the front, right thigh, and having that same twist as we had, trying to keep the hips in line and just twisting from the navel to reach back and grab that foot. And let's gently release that down, tuck that toe under, and we'll push back into your downward facing dog. Making any movements that feel good here. Noticing how one leg feels different than the other now. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Now we're inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant that foot down right next to the right thumb. And come up for your low lunge. Front knee directly over the ankle. Abs are tight, so you're pulled up. Let's paint the front of the room. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, float the hands back down. Inhale up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, float the arms back down. Coming into a twist now. Inhale, come up, swimming the right arm back for your twist. Each exhale brings you a little bit deeper into the twist. And inhale, feel your spine get nice and long. Let's inhale, unwind, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, frame that foot, keeping the right hand down. Bend that left knee and grab onto your foot for your quad stretch. Breathing nice and slow. And gently release the foot, bring that front arm back, and tuck the toes under, downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, plant that foot in between your hands, coming into a high lunge this time. So make sure your feet are hip width apart or wider if you need to. Then inhale, push into your front foot to lift your torso up for your high lunge. We'll pace the front of the room again in this pose. So inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, down. Inhale, reaching forward and up. Exhale, floating down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, float down. Find a steady point to look at the front of the room. And as you inhale, you're going to float the arms up and you're going to bring your right knee up with you. So inhale, coming to the top of the mat and balancing on your left foot, coming out of it or into it as you need to, using the wall if you have that. And exhale, plant that foot down for Tadasana. Shining both arms forward, both palms forward. Inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees generously. Clasp opposite elbows and sway side to side. And take a big inhale through the nose and exhale, sigh out the mouth. Inhale, lift halfway. Back is parallel to the ceiling. Exhale, fold. Maybe grab onto the back of your thigh, back of your calves. Then roll one vertebra at a time back up to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Just shift your weight back into your left foot again, coming into your tree pose. So bring your right knee back up and in, and then pressing your foot to the inseam of your left leg, either above the knee or below the knee, or you can have your toes on the mat like a kickstand. Really pressing your palms together at the heart and pressing that foot into the leg will really help you hold onto your balance. Also maintaining a single pointed vision. So looking at one thing, one single non-moving point. On your next inhale, bring your right knee back up, and then shift your gaze down towards the ground, maybe 3 feet in front of you. Bend your standing leg a little bit and extend your right leg back behind you, moving into warrior 3. Keep your hands at prayer, extend that leg back, and you're aiming for that leg to be parallel to the mat. You feel free to grab onto the wall if you need to. No shame in that at all. And when you're ready, you can drop that foot back down, come into a forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant both palms and step back into your downward facing dog. Making any movements that feel good here. Maybe even shaking out that standing leg. We'll do that same thing on the other side. So let's inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, plant that foot down. Adjust your feet for your high lunge. Inhale, come on up. You can keep your back leg bent if you need to, or you can straighten it out. Just so your front knee is over the ankle. That's the most important part, and your hips are in line with the front of the mat. So let's do our painting. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, float them down. Twice more on your own breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's come to the top of the mat on an inhale. Bring your left knee up towards your chest. Balance here. And exhale. Step it down for your Tadasana. Inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Sway side to side. Inhale through the nose and exhale, sigh out the mouth. Let's inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Then inhale, roll up one vertebra at a time. Coming to stand. Find your point of focus. Bring your hands to prayer. Lift your left knee up for your tree pose. Keeping steady. Keeping your weight evenly distributed in between all 4 corners of that right foot. A nice sturdy and steady foundation. On an inhale, bring that left knee up, bending your right knee a little bit, hinge forward, and extending that leg back for your warrior 3, bringing your gaze slightly in front of you on the ground. Really flex that foot. Try to keep your hips level with the mat. And on an exhale, bring your feet back down and come into a forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant both palms. You step back into your downward facing dog. Again, doing whatever feels good. Maybe shaking out that right leg. And one last balance here for us today. Let's inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, plant our foot forward, coming into our high lunge. So pushing into that front foot. Really anchoring through that front foot right away. Let's inhale, step it forward, bringing that right knee up. And exhale, bring that foot down. Inhale, and let's come into a chair pose. So squat down. Make sure you can see both big toes. Your knees are both in one line. And on an exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Then inhale, roll up one vertebra at a time towards Tadasana. Shift your weight into your left foot again. And this time, bend your right knee. Grab onto the foot like we did in tiger pose and like we did in our quad stretch. You're going to gaze kind of where you were in warrior 3, and we're moving into dancer's pose. You can reach your left arm forward and begin to hinge forward just like you did for the warrior 3. And pushing your hand or pushing your foot into your hand just like you did in tiger's pose and in your quad stretch. Make sure you're using your wall. Make sure you're not judging yourself if you're falling out of it. If you're watching me, you are watching me fall out of this all the time. Just try to be patient. Really anchor in through that left foot. And if you're only here, like if you're only grabbing onto your foot with it bent like this, that's where you are. And that's fine. But if you can lean forward, keep your balance. And this left arm coming forward can help with the counterbalance. And exhale, bring that foot back down. Let's stand in Tadasana for a moment. If you're still working on that, try it a couple more times. I'll take 2 breaths here. On an inhale, let's sweep both arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your palms. Step it back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting the right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. High lunge. Inhale up. And stepping forward, inhale, sweeping both arms forward, lifting the left knee up towards the chest. Exhale, foot steps down. Inhale. Exhale, squat down into your chair pose. Squatting down as far as you can, maybe bringing your foot your seat down an inch or two lower than you even think you can. Squeeze your legs together. And exhale, fold forward over your thighs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, roll up into your Tadasana. Dancer's pose on the second side. Anchoring through your right foot. Bend your left knee. Grab on to your foot. Find your gaze directly in front of you, maybe about 3 feet in front of your mat. And slowly begin to hinge forward using your right arm as a counterbalance. And pushing your foot into your hand. Keeping your core engaged. Keep breathing. And when you're ready, just release back down into Tadasana. I'll take 2 breaths here. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant both palms. Step it back. Last downward facing dog. So make any last movements that feel good before you drop to your knees. Bring your hips back to your heels and child's pose. I'm coming back to Guru Pranam. So come back to your attention. Maybe restating your intention to yourself and taking 5 deep breaths here. Slowing down the breath. Notice how you feel. Notice your heart rate. You feel everything begin to slow on down. You can push both hands into the mat to lift your torso back up. Extend both legs out in front of you. If you like to sit on a cushion, feel free. We're taking Janushirasana, head to knee pose. So bring your right leg straight, left foot comes to the inseam of that leg. Inhale, feel your spine nice and tall. And exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Maybe putting your right hand down and left hand over top. And breathing into your hamstrings. Just imagine your hamstrings just filling up with air. And with each exhale, feel them getting more and more relaxed. Even with this foot flex. 3 more deep breaths like this. And frame that leg, push into your fingertips to lift your torso back up nice and slow. And switch legs. So we're extending the left leg, bringing that right leg in, flex that left foot, inhale, spine is tall, and exhale, hinge forward, leading with the chest, right hand over left, and breathing into that extended leg. Closing the eyes if it feels good. Releasing any tension in the upper body. You can push your fingertips into the mat, lift your torso back up. Come into a butterfly fold, bringing the soles of your feet together to touch. Same thing, inhale, spine is tall, and exhale, lead with your chest. Maybe bringing your palms face up on the mat in front of you. Long, slow, deep breath in and out through the nose. Maybe breathing in through a count of 4 and exhaling for a count of 4. And take 5 more deep breaths here. Flip the palms. Push yourself back up to neutral. Send your legs back out. Maybe make a windshield wiper motion if that feels good. Or maybe straightening your legs and shaking them out. Whatever feels good right now. And bring your feet flat to the mat. You're going to roll down. Maybe scooting your seat forward a bit. Roll down one vertebra at a time to lie down on your back. If you have your block, you'll need it for this one. If you don't have your block, just place your feet flat on the mat, as wide as the mat, and dip your knees into touch, pressing one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. And stay there. And if you have your mat, or if you have your block, feet are about hip width apart, bring your heels in to where you can touch your fingertips to your heels. Press into the mat with your arms and your feet to lift your hips up into a bridge pose. And then place your block on the lowest level underneath the hips for your supported bridge. And you can also place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. Either way, just resting here for a few moments, taking about 10 breaths. If you're in supported bridge, just come out the same way you came in. So just pressing both feet into the mat to lift the hips up and moving the block out of the way and gently lowering your hips back up, down to the mat. And wherever you are, extend both legs out into Shavasana, our final pose, letting the body melt into the mat, relaxing everything, taking up as much space as you can, closing the eyes if it feels good. With each exhale, relax deeper and deeper. And take note of how your body feels. Take note of how your mind feels. And bring yourself to stillness. Only feeling the belly move up and down as you breathe deeply. Let's take 5 more deep breaths here. Begin to wiggle the fingers and toes, deepen your breath. Maybe you reach both arms up overhead and gently roll over to one side, moving nice and slow, cradling yourself here for a moment and pushing yourself up into your most comfortable seated position. Bring the palms together to touch at the heart and close the eyes. Notice how your body feels here. And give yourself gratitude for coming to the mat today. Working on these balancing poses can be a lot of fun, but it can also be really mentally taxing, especially if you fall out of it a bunch of times, like I have today. Let's make sure you move forward, having given yourself grace. This was no big deal. And doubling down on the gratitude. I'll close our practice today by chanting Om, which you can join along if you like. Exhaling all the breath out of the body. Then inhale deeply to chant Om. Om. And dip the chin, blink the eyes open, and bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a good time like I did. Please subscribe if you don't. Give a comment, like the video if you did, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.